Alrighty, we are live.
Awesome.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to this week's episode of Thirsty Topics. I'm Lawrence Elrod.
And I am Meryl Climo.
We didn't have a show last week because, unfortunately, I had a little bit of a medical issue, but I am back 1,000,000% ready to go.
Ready to go. It always is good. Anytime I have a medical issue, like for the next 4 days, I'm like, I'm only going to eat vegetables and fruits. And then like 5 days go by and then I'm back on the Cool Ranch Doritos. But I'm happy you're. I missed you last week. And luckily, I saved some of like what I thought was the most fun topics. And now we're just going to do them. So we didn't really miss anything. So we're going to do them today too.
Yeah, I got a couple on my list from last week that were really big too. So we are going to go ahead and jump into it. I'll let you start first.
Okay, cool. Well, we're gonna start light because I feel like it gets increasingly more and more newsish today. But the first one was just a fun thing that I saw on BuzzFeed, and I thought we could both, relate to it and probably add our own things. Where they asked the BuzzFeed community, they said like older people. Now this is like 35 and older, which is so funny to me that now that's being considered ancient. But basically, they asked which trends from the back in the day they were glad aren't around now. So I'm gonna run through them super quick, and then like you tell me if you remember them or what you think of them. The first one is one that is near and dear to me, which is jelly shoes. Do you know what those are?
Yes.
Yeah, I don't think you wore them, right? Boys,
No.
no, okay. I remember like it's so funny because they were so uncomfortable and they're just like someone doesn't know what jelly shoes are, they're pretty much like plastic, almost like plastic netting, but like not very comfortable. They give you blisters, they cut into your feet. But like now I look at them with such memory and such nostalgia.
But some people kind of wear them a little too long, where they start off as clear and then they wear them so long they kind of like look black.
Oh, smelly jelly shoes. Yeah.
It's like, yeah, it's time to throw those out now.
Yeah, but you know what I've been obsessed with finding lately is you remember like the plastic jelly bracelets? Like they went around there was like glitter jelly bracelets.
Oh yes, yes. Uh-huh.
Yeah. So like I've been on Etsy and trying to find like this is what I do with my spare time when you have no children is I'm trying to find glitter bracelets for myself. So okay, number 2, having to go to the movies without a pre-purchased ticket or assigned seat was such a hassle. You'd have to wait in long lines to sit in lousy seats or find out the show was sold out. I agree with
I
this
can see
one,
that.
right? Don't
I
we
can see
love
that.
having like assigned seats at the movies? It's so nice.
I,
Yeah.
I would say I got two to add to that list.
Yeah.
Um, I am really glad that the plastic is gone from the furniture. Remember those days?
Oh yeah. Yes. I could just picture it being hot and like that, like the smelling of the burning feel, like burning plastic.
Yes. And that's the worst thing. With either one is really hot or really cold. And it's like you never really get comfortable on a plastic couch, no
I
matter how hard you
know.
try.
You're just sliding around, and then there's like the metal buttons that always hurt you somewhere and stuff too. One that I did not agree with was people said they're happy that we don't have landline phones anymore. I disagree. Some days I wish I could go back to having like no cell phone and just one phone at home that I can call my friends on, or just to take it back to the simple days.
Yeah, actually, I think we're one of the very few people on Earth that still has a landline.
You
So,
do? That's
yeah,
so family-ish. That's so cute.
my wife refuses to get rid of the landline.
Really? I think that's so sweet. That's like very old school family. No, do people call on it?
Actually, yeah, I mean, literally only a handful of people, but most people do just call on the cell.
Okay, yeah. Because there's something just about taking just the receiver or just a handheld phone and like with the cord and walking around. I feel like that's the good old days.
Oh, yes, yes. I remember those days.
And then one that I took umbrage with also on this list was casseroles. People said that they didn't like casseroles and they were gross, and I feel differently. I feel like a good tuna casserole, like come on.
I mean, if it's made right, that never goes out of style.
Right? I know. People should not talk smack about um and then the last one was paper maps, like the thought of folding them and trying to decipher if you're going in the right direction with appropriate exits to your destination is just too much. I don't know how we got around with no Google Maps.
I gotta admit, yeah, I'm kind of glad those are gone too. So.
Yeah, I know, me too. Like, I don't understand what we would do if we were late or lost or anything. I guess we just would trust each other to all show up.
Yeah, just think having to actually read something and figure it out.
I can't. I don't even know how I got anywhere. I don't understand.
Those were definitely good ones.
Yeah. Thank you.
Well, we're going to jump into some really good hot topic here. Cardi B has just announced that she is getting a divorce from her husband, Offset, and we found out that she's also pregnant.
Whoa. With not his baby or with his baby?
Yeah, definitely, I believe it's his child. That's never an issue there. But you know, you normally don't see that unless there's some extravagant type situations where you know a person is married, they're getting a divorce, and they find out they're pregnant at the same time. But
Yes. I feel like I've heard a bunch of ups and downs with these two over the years. Because was that the
mhm.
one that it was like a public relationship where he like publicly wanted to get her back and showed up? I think it's that relationship that I was thinking of, that like he showed up at some show after cheating on her and like publicly begged to be back together.
Yeah, I mean the worst thing is when you're a Hollywood couple, and let's face it, Cardi B's an A-lister. When your husband steps out, it's not like a normal relationship.
Right.
Everyone knows.
Yeah.
So I think that probably makes it 10 times worse than the average person because, you know, there's going to be people, hey, what about, especially when you run across paparazzi or other type of reporters, hey, what's going on with you and your husband? So
Yes.
to constantly get that thrown in your face, I'm quite sure that's very hard to deal with.
Yes. And then it opens up a whole can of worms with like probably people demanding money and blackmail and NDAs, and like it's a whole world out there. So I could just imagine also having a child, and then she's probably just like, I don't want to deal with all of this while
Mhm.
during my pregnancy and with a new kid.
Yeah. I mean, I wish him the best no matter what direction they go in. I just hope that she allows him to be a father in that child's life and he
Yeah.
steps up to the plate because regardless of what's going on with the parents, make sure you have a relationship with that child. Don't make that child suffer to me.
Yes. And I assume they both signed a prenup probably for different different reasons, but
You know what? I would think so. I mean, I don't know. Um, there are surprises here and there, but I think you're right. There probably is a prenup there.
yeah.
It probably has something to do with, you know, if they have children too, I would imagine.
I know. I wonder if that changes things, like legally, if you while you're pregnant, if you get divorced, like when the baby is actually born. I wonder if that changes anything in terms of like paternity, alimony, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, it's definitely going to be interesting. And, when you're talking about the money that these two make, especially Cardi B, it could get very interesting.
Yeah. Except I feel like they have a 89.2% chance of getting back together. So
You think so?
yeah, I do, because I feel like they've broken up a few times before and gotten back together. I feel
Mhm.
like I feel like when the kid is 2.5, I feel like they're gonna have a reckoning again.
That's true.
So
That's
we'll
true.
see. We'll mark 2 years from now and then see what the news is like then.
Yeah. Like I said, I just hope that regardless of what's going on, the child is taken care of,
Yeah, for sure. And I feel like things are so calculated in Hollywood too that it almost, if she knew they were gonna get a divorce, it's sad that it has to be this way, but it almost like looks way better for her to come out when you're getting divorced when you're pregnant, because like right away you're gonna have all of the support pretty much. And so not that all of it needs to be calculated, but I feel like there really is a method to when they announce certain things. And sometimes people could be divorced for like a year and we won't know about it until they announce it.
That's true. Unfortunately, when you're in Hollywood, you do have to, kind of do those things. So,
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, well, I have another good juicy Hollywood story for you.
oh,
I know this one, we're a little late on it, but there's still a message that I wanted to talk about. Okay, so Serena Williams made many headlines, of course, about all things Olympic, but the latest one was that she didn't get into the Peninsula Hotel in Paris. She was trying to dine at, it was a luxury restaurant in Paris during the Olympics, and she was denied service. Now, the way that like the articles read make it sound like denied service, it makes it sound like she's waiting for her food and, they're rudely denying her service. What really happened was that the restaurant was too busy and they didn't let her in. So she didn't even really get a chance to like go into it. And so the hotel came out with this very, of course, like deepest apology and said that the rooftop was fully booked. She said that she saw a whole bunch of empty tables and kind of tweeted out like, why are there so many empty tables? To which the restaurant said the unoccupied tables belong to the gourmet restaurant, which was fully reserved. So, and then they followed it up really nicely and really respectfully. And they said, we've always been honored to welcome you and you will always be welcome again. The restaurant was probably like making in their pants, probably like this is not what they wanted. But it did spark a thing where I thought it was a little entitled of her to like get on Twitter and kind of blow up the restaurant. Like, I'm sorry, but there are many different other problems going on in the world than like Serena Williams not getting into a restaurant.
Yeah, I mean, that's true. I mean, when I first heard the clip, because when you first hear the story, you hear a soundbite.
Yeah.
And then it's like, they denied her going in. And then once the story comes out, it's like.
Right, because it was busy with other people. Yeah. And like, I don't think that's Serena's fault. Like, I think it was like a comedy of errors where she put out that she was frustrated about something and the news outlets picked it up as though she was like denied access to a restaurant, which makes it sound like way more like salacious than just a restaurant was busy and she couldn't get in.
Yeah, that's true. And, I've had situations where, we went out to dinner and, we couldn't get a seat because, that we see like 2 or 3 seats open and they're reserved. Mm-hmm. And then, of course, while we're sitting there waiting, we're looking, just making sure. And then we'll see people come in a little bit later, sit the seats like, okay.
Yeah. So do you think though, like, part of me is like, if you're really playing the game as a restaurant, you almost like would want to bump some people for a Serena Williams because like the promotion that's going to get you, but then also this is like a luxury restaurant in Paris. And so something tells me they don't really need the extra help of like, people probably know about them. They're not really probably clamoring for, publicity, but like, do you think just because someone's an A-list celebrity, they deserve to have like walk right to the front of the line privileges?
I don't think they should personally, even though we know that it really does happen. But because of the type of restaurant it was, they may have, very important clientele that has those reserves too.
Yeah.
If it was a lower scale type restaurant, yeah, I definitely can see them bumping someone and giving her a seat.
Like Applebee's,
Oh, they'll probably do that in a heartbeat.
Yeah. They're like, this way. Yeah. See, that's even something like, I even see that on a small scale. I mean, I see it all the time here in Los Angeles, of course, but like, I hate when things are either like, no, you can't park here, but then someone will come up and it's like, oh yeah, definitely you could park here. It's like, it's either the restaurant is booked and busy or there is a table available. And yeah, I thought that was like, I love Serena Williams. I think like she's really cool and an awesome businesswoman, but I also, it's a little bit like AO to me when someone has to like post that they couldn't get into a restaurant, or it's like, I don't know. Now you kind of know too that her fan base is going to like go after this restaurant, and you're kind of creating a lot of like undue clamor for really nothing, for a lot of people.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, the thing is that, we both know that, when you're an A-lister, that fan base is very strong. Oh my God.
Yeah. Yes. It's like a beehive, basically. But then they're all going to travel over to this restaurant who like really did not do anything wrong. Like from what I read, they weren't really rude to her. It would be one thing if they like told her off or made her feel bad, but it was just like, sorry, we're booked.
Yeah. I think this situation is a little bit different than, what happened to Oprah Winfrey years ago. Remember Oprah Winfrey tried to go into this high scale, not restaurant, but a high scale store. And they literally locked the door and wouldn't let her in until one of the workers recognized who she was, because she wasn't all glammed up. She looked like just a regular person. But then once they figured out who she was, they were like, "Oh, we're sorry, Miss Winfrey, come on in." And she at that point she's like, "No, I'm good. Don't worry about it."
Yeah.
To me, that's a different situation.
Definitely. And who we just also talked about, oh, that's right. Remember Bethany Frankel went in like some store, they wouldn't let her in. Yeah, like some person, it wasn't Gucci, but it was like Hermes or something like that, where they wouldn't let her in, and then all of a sudden when they know it was her, they're like,
Yes.
welcome. And she's like, I don't want you at this point.
Yeah, you got to be careful because you never know who's walking into your establishment.
Yeah, yeah. So that's good. Exactly. And I think both people like in this day and age, it's just like I would think someone like Serena would be a little bit more mindful about just like not
Yeah.
creating a lot of stuff, you know. But this also looks good for the restaurant in the way that it's like, oh, if it's so luxury that like even Serena Williams can't get in, like this is, you know,
That's true. That's
you know.
true. Speaking of luxury and A-listers,
Woo.
um, this story has been going on for probably like another week or two. Um, Everyone's well aware of what happened over in Vienna with Taylor Swift's concerts.
Yes, that was so scary.
And to me, it was shocking how much detail went into these bombers. I mean,
Yeah.
they're planning on stabbing as many people as possible and then setting off some bombs to kill as many people as possible. And it's like, whoa, it was amazing. And, you know, a lot of Swifties were very upset and angry and all that. But I think she did the right thing by canceling those concerts at the time.
Definitely.
Please take another look at her security to kind of make sure, okay, moving forward, what can we do to kind of help, you know, change some things to keep everyone safe. The last thing I think any entertainer wants is people getting hurt or killed at their events, you know.
Oh, absolutely. I think I also read, who knows if this is true, but I read that it was also found out that a lot of the people that some of like their friends, like the people that were planning on carrying out the attack, the friends got jobs as security. Did you see that?
You know, as sick as that sound, that is true. They did say that.
Oh, that's like really, really, really scary. And like, yeah, that I'm so happy and thankful that they caught it before. And it just honestly, like, there's a Billie Eilish concert coming up in LA, and I was supposed to go. It's in December, and I'm about to go to it. But I was also like, huge events like that. I'm just like right now, especially during like an election season and stuff. I'm like, I might like not choose stuff like that this year. Not that anything would happen, but it's just like I don't know, those kind of like really, really high profile things just freak me out a little bit now, you know?
Well, it's a lot of anxiety going on with everything. And, you know, there's a lot of crazy people out there. That's the problem, you know.
Yeah.
Most people are good people, but every so often you run across the lone wolves that aren't really associated with any big organization that do stuff. And, you know, I think that she's doing the right thing for her next concerts because now she's resuming concerts in London now. But what they're doing is they're not allowing any fans to gather outside the venue. And if you don't have tickets, they're not even going to let you come on the property.
Really?
And I know some people are like, you know, that's kind of extreme. You know, I can't believe they're doing that. But you know, I understand why they're being. I mean, that's kind of scary. What
Yeah.
happened?
Oh, it definitely is.
So I think they're. I mean, I think they're doing the right thing. What do you think? You think they're being a little bit overcautious?
No, I think they should be like 10 times more cautious for sure. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, I think for now and just even for the immediate future, like I'm sorry, but if you don't have a ticket, like that really is horrible and sad, but you just may not be able to like stand right outside the venue or gather in crowds.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I think to me, like I'd rather an overabundance of caution for safety. I'm, you know, just that way. But yeah, I mean, it is. I can't even imagine too if I was her, knowing that this planned attack was supposed to happen at one of my shows, and like her worrying about her own safety too. I just like that's and like her band members, her crew, like that's just so much to think about. I also wonder too with the all of the Vienna, all the people that like spend so much money to travel and the hotels and like how that worked for everyone.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I would think that for the concert, they got their money back, but for the people who traveled from another country to come see her,
Yeah.
ooh, that kind of sucks.
I
You know.
know. I know. It's really scary. And yeah, like just reading that they were going to drive a car through it and like bomb, it's like so scary. So yeah, it's definitely like when I hear that kind of stuff, I'm like, oh, we need more security or, you know, just to make these things not happen. I don't know. But it also seems like it's just not inevitable, but that's so much work for everyone to like triple down on security for every show in every city.
That is so true. And like I said, I know people are heartbroken as far as, you know, not being able to, you know, come up to the venue if you don't have a ticket. But I definitely agree with the abundance of caution because, like you said, no one wants to see people hurt or killed at their venue.
Yeah, not at all. A day or two after, I was going to a big concert in Palm Desert to see Alanis Morissette, who I love so much. But I was like, it's scary that we have to think this way now. But I'm like, okay, the venue is in kind of a boring city. It's in the desert, so like, who's gonna drive out there? And it's Alanis Morissette, so it's gonna be a bunch of like 40-year-olds. And so like, like you have to almost think like, okay, what events like? That's why I was a little bit nervous to go to Billie Eilish, because it's like, that's where all the young, cool people are. You know, that's like a concert that kind of makes waves a lot. So it's just, it's sad that we have to think that way now. But
yeah, that's true.
Well, I don't know.
You
We'll
have a
see.
good one coming up.
Okay, I have a good one. Okay, so there's going to be a movie based on Miss Britney Spears, her 2023 memoir, The Woman in Me. John Chu, which is super exciting. He's set to direct the film. Mark Platt is set to produce it. So her memoir was published in October of last year. Remember, it caused like a big stir about Justin Timberlake. You know, she had some pretty big bombshells in there, and now they're going to make a movie based on that. It seems like, you know, she announced it on August 1st that it was going to be it's in the, you know, process of being made. And of course, the whole internet went wild with like, who should play her. And so, okay, so my personal thing is, I think I've said this before, but I love the influencer and dancer and singer Addison Rae. Like I have an Addison Rae Barbie doll. Like she's one of the only celebrities I actually care about. I went to one of her meet and greets, and like, if anyone's listening and likes her, like she's one of the people I've met where she's like better in real life. And I just like love her so much. And I think there's like a reason why I chose her as one of my favorite people, because I had a feeling she'd be really cool. And then when I met her, I'm like, I love you. And so, anyway, but I love Addison, and she kind of has that like early Britney's feel to me. You know, she's also from Louisiana. She's a little bit like, I think she's such a triple threat as well in terms of like being a great dancer, actress. Like, I just think she's insanely gorgeous. And like, I don't know, to me, she's like captivating. So, I'm putting my vote in for Addison. I love her. She's like, I'm telling you, in a world where like I barely care about any celebrity, I love her so much. And also like where I live in Burbank, people are always like, oh my God, Addison Rae was like just in here. So I'm always like three coffee shops away from like seeing her, which I'm so excited about.
Well, you know what? I also saw in that article that Britney Spears actually, you know, is giving input into those, in which I hope is the case, because I think it's so important for a person to tell their own story. Because when you're a celebrity, everyone's telling your story. Everyone from the person who grew up with you, to a relative, to the doorman. You know, whether you agree or disagree, it's always nice to hear from the person themselves, just to tell you their side of the story. Again, you may not agree with it, but at least they have a chance to tell their own story.
Yeah. Imagine what the casting call is going to look like, though, for just like 300,000, Britney lookalikes. And I was seeing someone on TikTok say that this is a good idea, I think, where they need to choose someone who's not like beyond famous yet, because they really want to capture that kind of innocence that Britney had originally. And if they pick someone too much, like a Sydney Sweeney or someone that's already like too formed, basically, then it's just going to be like not the best portrayal, I think, of like a young Britney. So it'll be interesting to see who they pick. If it's not Addison, I'm not watching. I don't care.
Well, it'd be kind of cool if they did get an unknown person, just because there are so many talented actors and actresses that never get a big break, and I think this will be a really good. If you look like her and you can act, to me, that's the perfect. And like you say, if they are not well known, I think it'll probably be even better, because you're right. I think the innocence and being able to kind of really get into this character, I think we give it a whole different meaning, and kind of almost like an insight into her eyes as far as what she saw.
Yes. See, unpopular opinion, but I actually felt that way about Barbie as well, because like I love Margot Robbie. I think she's beautiful and like awesome and so talented, but I wish it went to someone that was like the next version of like a Margot Robbie type of thing, and like I love Margot Robbie. I think she should have like been in the movie still, for sure. I mean, I love seeing her, but like I felt that way too. I'm like, oh, I want like a young, like the next kind of like new person. So yeah.
Yeah, I think that's going to be a top watch once it comes out.
Do you have any contenders that you think, or you still have to do your research?
I don't know. I mean, it's hard to say. I mean, there's a few people that could probably fit that role. I know you mentioned someone that probably be perfect for it,
Yep.
but it'll be interesting to see. It'll be interesting to see.
Yeah.
I'm rooting for the unknown person.
You are? Okay, good.
Now, talk about unknown. Obviously, the presidential race has really turned on its head the last few
Oh
weeks.
my gosh. I love it. I love it.
And the interesting thing is, JD Vance has been criticizing um, Tim Walz on his military career, saying that he got out the military right before they were being deployed, and it's like I don't know. And being that JD Vance was also in the military, he served 4 years versus Tim Walz, who served 24 years. So
Yeah.
like it's like, is it really okay to criticize someone about their military career? What do you
No.
think?
I don't think so at all. I think unless that person like acted in really bad faith, or there was something huge that they did that to other people or to like the branch themselves, the branch itself, but like not this. I think that's pretty dirty fighting.
Yeah, yeah, and the crazy thing about it is that we kind of forget. He probably forgot that the head of his ticket had bone spurs and he didn't go into the military. Just saying.
Yeah. I think if you look back on both sides of things, there's examples of people that may not have done right by, every branch of the service.
Mhm. I mean, I think it's kind of crazy. I mean, you don't have to go to war to serve your country.
Absolutely.
And most people don't know this, but in a war, reservists actually are more likely to go to the front lines than full active duty members, because active duty members are already assigned to certain tasks in certain areas.
Yeah.
A
Was
lot of
was
people don't
Bill
realize that.
Clinton is it Bill Clinton that people thought was like referred to as like a draft dodger too? I don't know. I should probably know, but
You know what? I haven't heard about that with Bill
okay.
Clinton.
I don't know. There's some popular president that I'm thinking of that it's probably will come to my mind, but people didn't like him because they thought he was like I forget who it was. I don't know. But yeah, it's also like some of the messaging is just so funny. I heard the other day where people are like, these are the most radical left people I've ever seen. And I'm like, I don't think they're portraying that at all. Like I that argument works a lot of times and it does work for many people on, the side, but it definitely is so funny when it's like, they're going to make the most radical decisions you've ever seen in the world. I'm like, I have not seen it. It's like silly, it almost feels like it's like WWE or something.
Yeah, and the thing is, if you kind of understand, not even a lot, but a little bit about how politics work, the president and the vice president have certain roles.
Yeah.
People who actually make the laws are really the Senate and the House. Okay, the Senate and the House. They're the ones that actually put together. The president does play a role because he's the head of the party, but you know, we're not a dictatorship. They just can't do what they want.
Right. Yeah.
Though
They think
someone
it's
is
like
trying to, though someone's trying to change that, but I'm not gonna say anything. But
yes, yeah, they think it's like one person that's like my way now.
mhm. But yeah, I think that they should really ease up on that, because to me that's a silly thing. And if that's all you have is that, and then the personal attacks, yeah, you're gonna be suffering pretty bad.
I know. It's looking my boyfriend keeps on laughing at I think last week or a few days ago, Trump was like, "What's even her last name? Harris?" Like it's like, yes, that's like one of the easiest names. Like he keeps on around the house, he keeps on saying like, "What's the last name? Harris?" So it's just so weird.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of hysterical when you think about it, because it's like, okay, so the personal attacks, attacking the military career, attacking the name. So really, that's all you have?
Right. And like I know they get a lot of saying that people are chameleons and they change like who they are around different people. I'm like, yeah, that's like everyone in politics on every side, so that's not really an argument. Like we all know that people do that. And like at that point, that's just kind of, you have to be almost a chameleon if you've made it to like the upper rungs in any type of politics. So yeah,
That's true. It's going to be fun to see the debate, though.
Oh my God. It's gonna be funny. It's gonna be really funny. Yeah.
Now, I know we don't dip into politics too heavy, but something tells me we may dip into that debate.
Yeah, I think so
be wrong,
too.
but I think it's going to be a lot more amusing than most people think.
I think so too. Well, my president, if I had to pick one president, would be Pitbull, and then so my president would be Pitbull. The vice president would be Addison Rae. All of the Supreme Court would be like just I don't know all the food chefs out there, all the master chefs out there. That'd be my cabinet. But I'm so excited that this week we cover my two favorite celebrities, which is Addison Rae and Pitbull, because Pitbull has bought the naming rights for a Florida college football stadium, and this is a pretty cool deal. So he secured the naming rights to Florida International University, FIU, their football stadium. So it's a 5-year agreement, and the stadium is going to be rebranded as Pitbull Stadium, which is amazing, and I love it, and I am here for it all day. Under the terms of the agreement, Pitbull will pay $1.2 million annually for the naming rights. And then I thought this was also cool that the partnership comes with a lot of perks for him, including he's going to be able to host up to 10 events each year at the stadium without incurring any rental fees. So, like,
wow.
Imagine how much money he's going to make back. He only has to pay $1.2 million, and then he's going to be able to host 10 events, which he will probably make like over 10 million at each event. So for him, it's like a no-brainer and a really smart deal.
You know what? Watch, you're going to see a lot more artists copy that. Because I didn't know he only paid 1.2 million.
Yep, annually for the naming rights. That's like nothing. That's
compared to how much he's going to make off that, especially with the free, the concerts where you don't have to pay rent for that. Oh my gosh. Yeah, that's a great deal.
Isn't it? It said the agreement also requires him to engage with the university on social media, which is like with at least a dozen posts annually, which is easy breezy. That's like one a month that someone could do for him.
What is that? A post a month?
Exactly, that like someone can do. And then this is so funny, to participate in at least one fundraising event for FIU athletics, easy and fun. And then the last thing is Pitbull has committed to recording a new anthem for FIU, which is amazing. And like, if I went there, if Pitbull was doing my anthem, I'd be like so excited.
Wow, he got a hell of a deal.
Yeah. And I just love, like, I've been to some Pitbull concerts before. I know people think he's like cheesy and may laugh at some of the stuff, but like, I swear I went to go see him and Enrique Iglesias, and like, my friend and I were writing down notes about like stuff that he was saying just about life and like a positive attitude. And, like he may be cheesy to some people, but his concerts are like hit after hit. Like he just creates such a good, it might not be the most like artistic music, but it's like stuff that everyone likes. And I just think as a business person, I love his positive attitude and like his abundance and everything. So, oh my God, what if I start crying over Pitbull?
I never thought of him as being cheesy because he's got some great hits to me. Some really great artists,
Yeah, I think some people rag on him a little bit because it's a little bit like a lot of his songs kind of sound the same and it's very like almost too radio friendly. But to me, he makes stuff that people feel good about, and I love everything about like his attitude. So I'm a big Pitbull fan.
Hey, they shouldn't sleep on being able to be radio friendly because that's how people know who you are.
Yeah. Yeah, and his whole brand is about going from nothing to making yourself from everything. And so, like, I like that. I think, like, I don't know, it's a good anthem for people that are working their way up. So I think it's beautiful.
Yeah, that's a great takeaway. Having fun, enjoying life. That's a great takeaway.
Yeah. This is so funny that we've been doing this for months, and literally the only time I get teary-eyed is talking about Pitbull. We talk about like bombing and like planes going down and stuff, and literally I'm like, Pitbull is such a beautiful artist. I need like a nap, and this is so ridiculous.
I bet I know one of your favorite artists now.
Yeah. Honestly, Pitbull and Addison Rae are like the only celebrities that I care about.
Talk about going down, taking off. Have you heard what's going on now? Where I guess people are walking down the street, minding their business, and they have these Apple Air Max headphones. So these are the large headphones that go, across your head and it covers your ears. And people are literally running up and just snatching them off.
No.
And there are people like on scooters doing this.
What?
I mean, and I did not know these Apple Macs cost as much as they do. I heard they're almost, like $500 each. They're very expensive.
Whoa. And those are the ones, okay, wait, so like I don't really know. I'm still old school with like old school wire headphones. Those are the ones that are in your ear or they're over your ear?
They're over your ear.
Okay. Well, and they're obviously like wireless, right? Like so people can just yank them off.
Yes. But to me, what's kind of crazy, and it's really a shame we have to say this, you should not be wearing that kind of headphone anyway, because you have no idea what's going on around you.
Is it that noise canceling?
I'm assuming that is. I just I just have a problem paying $500 for headphones, so I probably never own one. But
yeah, honestly, I'm rocking the Sony like 1999 from Best Buy ones, and like they work wonderfully.
But it's like, to me, you want to know what's going on, and if your ears are totally enclosed and you listen to music, things on the side and behind you, you can't see or hear.
Absolutely. And yeah, it's like you always want to be able to hear, whether it's a car or like a bike horn or someone, someone even just talking to you. It's important to have that, especially like women running. It's like you have to always kind of, it's a sad truth, but we have to be able to hear like things that are going on,
Oh yeah. Yeah. And it's amazing that people are doing this, because it's like you're paying $500. To me, I would not want my headphones on out in public, just because I don't want to try and fight for them if someone tries to rob me or something like that.
Right. See, that's going to be karma. If anyone does that with my Sonys, it's like, it has like styrofoam with like all my ears sweat. Like they're going to get like a weird like mildew infection or something if they try to. But I also think too, talk about instant karma. If you're someone that is grabbing the headphones off of someone else, like I guarantee you instantly something is going to happen. Like that is not very good to be doing. Like stealing all around is not good, but like just, I don't know, grabbing the headphones off of just innocent people walking is like really a way to screw yourself over, I think.
Yeah, that's true. And, I know some people are like, they're really upset, and it's like, I can't believe it's almost as bad as if you have a car outside, you leave it unlocked and you have something expensive on the seat.
Yeah, like a purse there or something, or I think so too. But I think I wish we could go back to like the days where you really could just feel safe and like people weren't stealing things off of each other's heads. That's a little crazy, So to me, I feel like if you do that, I think there should be a bigger penalty than there probably is. Like I think you should get in like big trouble if you steal something off of someone's head.
Yeah, I totally agree with you on that. Let's hope people are starting to be a little bit more wiser about not wearing those.
Exactly.
So
you think Pitbull would do that? No, he would build his own headphones. Then he would buy the headphone company.
Oh yeah. I see Pitbull, the type of person, if you snatch from him, I think he would chase that person down.
I think he would. He has people for it. He would like immediately be like, all you see two guys wearing suits, and they'd be doing it to like really good music. They'd be like beating him up to Pitbull's music too. And then he would like he would like, I don't know, like drop a watch, like a Rolex on the watch, and like stomp it out on someone or something too. But yeah, I just think there has to be more accountability for people that like steal right off of each other.
Yeah, I agree with you. Yeah. I agree.
So that like, so that way people know if you get caught, you're going to be screwed.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'm so excited to get into this with you. This is like some big drama. I know. Okay, so every like hour there's something new basically about this one, but the movie It Ends With Us. So, there's been I'm sure if you are living under a rock or not, you have heard of all of this situation, or at least some of it. There seems to be some stuff going on between Blake Lively, obviously the A-list actress that we know, and then the director, Justin Baldoni. So the film is an adaptation of Colleen Hoover's bestseller, and a lot of things are flying around about the movie right now, but one of them seems to be that there's a big beef between Blake and Justin, and possibly like Blake and the cast, and then Justin Baldoni. It seems to be that most people are on Justin's side of things, despite, I think, the other camp trying to make it look a certain way. But people believe that Justin is promoting the movie how it should be promoted, which is really like a story about domestic violence and making that more of the central theme. People are kind of mad at Blake for making it a little bit more about like, it's a girls movie and, you know, here's my hair care line and all that stuff. The latest today that I saw was that Justin hired a PR crisis team because I think they were trying to like spin his image and make it look like he was the difficult one on set. But from insiders that have worked on the movie and people that just know, you know, both people, they say that's not really the truth. My main thing about this is that whenever like these kind of beefs happen about the movie, it's just annoying that it takes it away from like the actual movie itself. And now I feel like I've given more thought to like the drama than I actually would going to see the movie, which is kind of annoying, you know. So I don't really care either way that much, to be honest, about either of these people. But like, I mean, this is like, of all the things going on, like two people making a movie like doesn't really move my needle. But I just wish also, I feel like we know too much. We're like, maybe we don't need to know all of the inside behind the scenes of like every movie making. What do you feel?
Yeah, I agree with you. I mean, I think in some ways, maybe not the whole thing, but in some ways, it could be kind of a PR thing where someone probably had the idea, hey, let's leak some of this stuff out, you know,
Yeah.
because some people have the idea that any type of coverage is good coverage,
Right.
which I don't totally agree with that, but some people do have that feeling. And, you know, I think it's a little bit, I don't know, I think it takes away from the movie, like you just said, when, you know, you're hearing about all the stuff happening behind the scenes because the focus is being taken away from the actual movie itself and put
Yes.
on the people behind the scenes.
Definitely. And I feel like up until this point, Blake Lively was like, had such a good reputation. You know, everyone like loves her, and Ryan Reynolds, like blah, blah, blah. I don't care that much, but I think like people loved her. And honestly, she's starting to have like the J-Lo effect where I'm seeing a lot of edits of her, people like rolling their eyes about her. And like, it's crazy how fast the internet switches up. And like, I feel like the general feeling tends to be a little bit like, ugh, about her now. And that is just crazy because before I felt like she was someone in Hollywood that people love. You know, she always like shows up with these beautiful gowns, and she just seems to be like not very problematic. But I don't know. People are saying she's having her J-Lo moment where it's all like kind of going a little bit downhill from here. So we'll see.
You know, it'd be kind of interesting to find out, you know, because, you know, there's always stuff that leaks out about how actors supposedly really are behind the scenes. It'd be kind of nice, you know, to see, you know, if someone actually looks into it to see, okay, what's the truth? How is this person behind the scenes? Are
Yeah.
they really nice, or, you know, are they like an asshole like people are saying? You know, because you really don't know.
Yes, you don't know at all. The most annoying thing I've seen about this whole movie thing was like one of the cast members is a comedian, Jenny Slate. I don't know if you know who that is, but like it's annoying to me how the cast is dodging questions, but like I don't know if they need, I don't know, it's the lack of media training or lack of like, I don't know, it's annoying to me because it's like they asked this one person a question and the way that she answered it was completely like off base, so much that people were like making fun of it on TikTok and just like making videos of it. And to me, it's like just people can smell out like bullshit now, you know. And so I think our meter for that type of stuff has gone way up, and people are expecting the audiences just to like buy into whatever they say. But I think now more and more people are able to be like, this is a weird answer, or like call them out, you know?
Yeah, I totally agree with you. But unfortunately, I don't think this is going to be the last time we hear about drama happening behind the scenes of a production. So
No. But yeah, definitely. And like it doesn't fuel it for me in a good way. In fact, if anything, I think it sets up people to like not really love the movie as much as they would have.
yeah, that's true. That's true. Talk about setup. Were you around when LA experienced that 4.4 Richter earthquake?
I sure was. I was sitting right here, nicely doing my job. I'm very close to where it was. It was in like Pasadena. It was one of the main, spots, and I'm like a 11-minute drive from there. And it was by far the biggest earthquake I have felt. I've lived on the East Coast on the West Coast since like 2004. And it is the biggest one I have felt. And like the other earthquakes I've like felt have been more like rolling. Like it almost feels like the earth is kind of rolling. And this one felt way more like shake, like jolting, and kind of like more like
what was your whole place shaking? Everything shaking
yeah, yeah. The whole
Oh,
place was
really?
shaking. It like nothing. Luckily, nothing fell down or like broke or anything. But this one came on like it felt very forceful and just very. It wasn't as like smooth as the other ones were, and then I could really feel like the earth moving for at least like I would say like at least a minute and a half afterwards. Like you could really feel things moving, and then a lot of people like I feel like very like dizzy and disoriented a lot of times when earthquakes happen. Like there's one a few months ago where it happened, and my friend and I both said that we felt like very kind of like woozy a little bit for the whole day. So that's like I didn't feel that way with this one, but like it's funny now when people rush to Facebook, it's like I felt it. Like that's how like I like we now immediately I'm like I think that was an earthquake. I'm pretty sure, and then I go on Facebook, and within like 30 seconds, I see people start to be like. So yeah,
Now
maybe
you
also
gotta
just
admit it is pretty funny that the first instinct instead of like hide is to, hey, let me grab my phone and get on Facebook.
yeah. I had a comedy show that night, and so I started off by like asking how many people felt it and saying that now we have to like there's such a need to make content that I immediately went online and like reviewed the earthquake and like gave it 5 stars and like so but it made me really think now it's like I mean luckily like I'm on a lower floor and I'm not really in an inopportune space, but like like now I'm like, oh yeah, like I do go in elevators a lot and I'm in like higher hotels a lot. It's just kind of like, oh man, I don't know. It's just weird because you don't want to be somewhere not great when this happens. And luckily like I'm very much on the east side of Los Angeles, but on the whole west side, it's like a tsunami. Like things can happen with really big earthquakes. So it's crazy.
Yeah, I haven't heard anything about anyone getting hurt though.
No, luckily not. It didn't seem like it felt really forceful, but like it didn't seem like it would knock power lines over. It wasn't that big or that scary. But I definitely felt it. And like normally my friends that are frustrated because they can't feel earthquakes, a lot of people were like, finally I felt one. And it's just so funny though, because they train us to go stand underneath a doorway and like everyone I know, including myself, we just like stand there frozen. I'm like, what am I supposed to do again? Like
Well, the good thing is no one was hurt. That's a good thing.
Yeah. The good thing is no one was hurt, and hopefully we just my friends, some of my friends have an earthquake app, and they said that like before we used to really not know, and now they're getting up to like 20 to 30 seconds worth of a heads up, which doesn't seem like a lot, but it is a lot if you're like on the top floor of a mall or like able to get somewhere. So at least I feel like the technology is getting better.
Oh, I agree. Totally. Wow, this was one filled moment here.
I know. Earthquakes, Pitbull, everything.
We had a little bit of everything today.
Yeah.
Speaking of everything, what shows or events do you have coming up?
Oh my gosh. So right now today we're in the midst of a really fun festival in Los Angeles called the Burbank Comedy Festival, and I'm honestly like so honored to be part of it. I'm like I see people from all over the world flying in, and like I'm lucky because it's right in my city, but it's such a cool thing. So if anyone is listening now and you're in Los Angeles, there's still a bunch of days left in the festival to go, and a lot of the shows are very affordable. They're all over town, so it's super cool. And then August 22nd, I'm part of like a women all-star show in Burbank as well. So that's a really, really fun one. That's like, that's cool.
Nice. Well, I tell you, I had so much fun today.
Me too. We laughed. We cried. I cried.
Well, I tell you, for everyone out there, thank you for supporting us. Thank you for always tuning in to watch us. And just remember to, help support us by getting the word out, letting people know about the show, about my streaming channel, and also about my co-host here, Meryl, about her upcoming events. We got to make sure we support her now, okay?
So sweet. Thank you.
For everyone out there, have a great day. thank you for watching, and we can't wait to see you next week for our next show. Bye, everyone.